One generates $11,000 per month. The other generates $460. Same city, same machines, same products, same customers. Two operators, one market. Two completely different economic realities, and the gap between them was determined before either of them plugged in a single machine. This is not a story about hustle. This is not a story about mindset. This is a forensic examination of what passive income actually looks like when the math is done correctly. Act 1. The illusion operator A followed the script. He watched the videos. He ran the projections. He identified his market. 20 machines at $4,500 each, $120,000 deployed, all at once, into a business he had studied for 6 months on the internet. The model was clean. Each machine grossing $500 per month. After cost of goods and location commissions, a net of $175 per unit. 20 machines, $3,500 per month. Passive income, financial freedom. The spreadsheet said so. The spreadsheet was wrong. Real-world gross came in at $280 per machine, not $500, not even close. After cost of goods sold and location fees, net revenue dropped to $98 per machine per month. 20 machines, $1,960 per month, before labor. Before labor, he is driving routes himself, 60 hours per month, restocking, repairing, relocating machines that underperform. At a fair market wage of $25 per hour, that is $1,500 in uncosted labor every single month. Net income after accounting for his own time, $460 per month. $460 per month. That is the annual salary of a part-time minimum wage worker divided by 12, before machine repairs. Before fuel. Before the inevitable compressor failure that costs $800 and arrives. Always. Without warning. Act 2. The rate of return. $120,000 deployed. $460 per month in real net income. Annualized. $5,520 per year. Return on capital. 4.6%. The risk-free rate on a United States Treasury bond in 2023 was 5.2%. 4.6. 5.2. He is not running a business. He is paying for the privilege of running one. A treasury bond requires no driving, no restocking, no repair calls at 7 in the morning, no negotiating with building managers who have already decided to replace him. The bond generates 5.2% while he sleeps. The machines generate 4.6% while he works 60 hours a month to make that number possible. This is the foundational contradiction of vending machine economics at small scale, and almost no one states it plainly. The asset does not generate the return. The operator generates the return. The machine is simply the mechanism through which his labor is converted into slightly more than minimum wage. Act 3. The other operator, operator B, did not find vending machines on YouTube. He found them from the inside of a delivery truck in 2015. After 10 years as a route driver servicing established vending operations across a mid-sized American city. He did not buy 20 machines. He did not run projections on a spreadsheet. He did not pay $4,500 per unit for equipment he had no framework to evaluate. He spent a decade watching which locations generated volume, which generated waste, which operators lasted, and which ones folded, usually within 18 months. When he launched his own operation, he did not start with capital. He started with knowledge. Today, Operator B runs 220 machines, 3 employed drivers, monthly gross, $312,000, monthly net, $122,000. That is not a projection. That is audited operating reality. The gap between Operator A and Operator B is not 20 machines versus 220. That is a symptom. The gap is the decade of structural knowledge that Operator B brought to the moment of capital deployment, and Operator A spent $120,000 to discover he did not have. Act 4, the machine is not the product here, is the mechanism that explains everything. The machine is not the product. The machine is the reason the transaction happens. The product is the location. A vending machine placed in a hospital corridor with 400 daily foot traffic encounters operates in a fundamentally different economic universe than the same machine, identical model, identical products, identical pricing, placed in a boutique gym with 30 members. Operator A's available market, after all premium locations were already claimed, consisted of small offices, boutique gyms, and low-traffic service lobbies. Average gross per location, $280 per month. Not because of the machine, not because of the product mix, because of the location. The machine is worth precisely as much as the location it occupies. And the best locations in any market are not available to a new entrant. Not because he lacks capital, because they are already under contract. Act 5. The locked market hospitals sign 5-year exclusive vending agreements. Manufacturing facilities with 200 or more workers, the highest volume category in the segment, are under long-term contracts with operators who have been servicing them for years. Those contracts include renewal options. Those operators know the facility manager by name. The best vending locations in any market are not available to a new entrant. Not because he lacks capital, because they are already under contract, and those contracts do not expire on a schedule that accommodates his entry into the market. What remains available, the open market, is the residual, the locations that established operators evaluated and passed on, small offices, boutique gyms, lobbies with irregular hours, $280 per month locations, which is precisely where Operator A deployed $120,000. The market told him everything before he signed a single lease agreement. He did not speak the language. Act 6. The architecture of scale vending. Economics are not linear. The business has 3 structural breakpoints, and crossing each one changes the nature of the operation entirely. Below 50 machines, the operator is the business. He drives routes, handles repairs, negotiates locations, manages inventory. His labor is the primary input. His return scales with his hours, not with his capital. At this stage, the business is a job, one that requires a vehicle, a warehouse, and $100,000 in equipment to access. At 50 to 150 machines, the operation becomes a logistics problem. Route density determines profitability. Driver efficiency, machine uptime, and inventory turnover replace location count as the key variables. Margin improves, but only if location quality was established at entry. You cannot fix a bad location portfolio by adding more bad locations. Above 150 machines, 3 structural advantages appear simultaneously. First, purchasing power. At scale, cost of goods drops materially through direct supplier relationships. Operator B is not buying products at the same per-unit cost as Operator A. That differential compounds across every product, every machine, every month. Second, route density. 3 drivers covering 220 machines across a concentrated geography generate a cost per service visit that is structurally inaccessible to a 20-machine operator. Operator A's effective cost per route stop is more than 4 times higher. Third, contract leverage. A 220-machine operator negotiating a hospital renewal is not the same counterparty as a 20-machine operator approaching the same hospital for the first time. The established operator brings service history, machine uptime data, and the credibility of demonstrated scale. The new entrant brings a proposal. These 3 advantages do not appear gradually. They arrive as threshold effects. Below the threshold, fragility. Above it, structural durability. The threshold requires capital, time, and, above all, the right locations from the beginning. Act 7. The contrafactual. If Operator A had spent 60 days working unpaid alongside an established route operator, observing which locations generated volume, which contracts were approaching renewal, which facility managers were dissatisfied with their current service, he could have deployed 1 machine in 1 qualifying location at $4,500 of capital, a single machine in a hospital corridor, generating $450 net per month, annualizes to an 88% return on that unit of capital. 1 machine, right location, 88% annualized return. Instead, he deployed 20 machines across the residual market at 4.6%. The difference between those 2 outcomes was not capital, it was not intelligence. It was 60 days of information he chose to substitute with 6 months of internet research. Act 8. What was always visible. All of this, the invisible location barrier, the contract lockout, the passive income illusion, was visible in the structure of the market before the first machine was purchased. The hospital exclusivity clauses are public record. The manufacturer contracts are not hidden. The route driver who could have explained the entire system in a single conversation was available. Every signal was public. Every signal was ignored. That is what buried economics means. The information exists. It existed before the purchase order was signed. The market does not hide its structure from people who are willing to look at it directly, without the filter of projected returns, internet case studies, and the particular optimism that arrives with a new spreadsheet. Act 9. The closing arithmetic. $460 per month. $120,000 deployed. 60 hours of labor each month that does not appear in the income statement because the operator is the one providing it. At some point, every allocation of capital is also an allocation of time. And when time is priced correctly, when 60 hours at a fair market rate is subtracted before the return is calculated, the passive income business reveals itself as something else entirely. Not a trap, not a scam. A structure, with precise entry requirements, precise scale thresholds, and a locked location market that was never going to accommodate a new entrant who had not done the foundational work before the capital moved. The machine does not care who owns it. The location does not negotiate. The contract does not expire to accommodate a competitor's timeline. 4.6%, 5.2%, 60 hours a month. The market was always telling the same story, in the same language. And the best locations in your market were signed before you found the channel. That's not a warning. That's the math.